It's whatever, 10 after, I guess. So we'll go ahead and get started. So come to order. And we've got our November 2022 minutes to take a look at from Heather. It's a lot shorter than when we did the shelter stuff in it, isn't it? I noticed on Slack the stuff did drop off, the old stuff. Like it was going to.
Yeah, I still haven't heard back from him about our nonprofits. It may just take a while.
I was looking for something and it was gone. I don't know what it was. What did I just say I didn't put on the agenda that was two things? I don't know. I forgot it, but I remembered the other thing. Oh, I found it. That's right. It was Dr. Casey. Sorry, Penny.
You're $5 is adopted in November.
Is everybody finished? All right. Are there any comments or questions or clarifications or anything related to the minutes? If not, I'll make a motion, we accept them as submitted. In favor? Anybody opposed? It's unanimous. All right. Moving on. Treasurer and corresponding secretary reports. Tyler.
I have both November and December. So the report for November, we had a beginning balance of $1,048.25. Withdrawal of debits of $3,306. We had a high vet bills that month, and then we had deposits of $27,1730 for an ending balance of $459.55. And then in the savings account, we had a beginning balance of $1,273.36, and I moved all of that over to the main account for an ending balance of $0. And then cat adoptions, we had 2, and we had 5 dog adoptions. And then for December, we had a beginning balance of $459.55. Withdrawals and debits of $1866.48, and we had more deposits, thankfully, of $3,467 for an ending balance of $2,060.07. And I still haven't gotten the money from the GoFundMe, the $2,600. I was wondering if you needed to close that out. I didn't know if...
I would like to, and I went in because we got 2 donations after my Friday or Sunday live stream cause my moderators always, like the stream tonight, it's posted all throughout, and begging for money, and it, we got a 20 that night and then a 50 the next day, cause I get the emails. But I tried to go in and thank them personally, and I couldn't get in it. And you know what's going on with GoFundMe, you all probably know, but I've been trying to set one up for a friend. So we're gonna have a fundraiser for him Monday night, just a special live stream, because we can't get a GoFundMe set up. Who's the guy that the singer Kanye West? He lost all of his endorsements and stuff, and so people have gone in, just thousands of people apparently, and set up GoFundMe's for him. So it's like a news thing if you click on what's wrong with GoFundMe. So it's got everything froze up and all that, and like when I was trying to set this guy's up, I could get through it, but then it wants to send you a code to verify it to the phone, and that's as far as it can get. And I tried and tried and tried. Of course, the more everybody tries, the more it slows it down. So that's what's going on, and that's probably why I couldn't get in to thank these ladies too. It's just overloaded. So he's getting all these, he's a billionaire, but he's getting all these GoFundMe, I know.
That's crazy.
Well, that's what I feel like, because there's so many people like my friend Mike that's worked all his life, and now he's 59 and can't pay his bills because he got sick all of a sudden, heart attack. But anyway, so that's what's going on, so I can't close it. Long story to say, I can't get in it to do anything.
Yeah. Well, once we get that, that'll put us up to $4,600, and then minus the taxes and minus the insurance. But and then I also haven't gotten the money from your Facebook birthday thing or
Oh,
Virginia's.
yeah.
So both of those to
Yeah, those
usually
are both-
takes about 2 months for those
Yeah,
to roll
mine was
around.
the end of November,
Yeah.
and hers was right around then too, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was December 3rd.
Yeah. So, and that was 200 on mine, or
It's
201 or
77 on
something.
hers, something like that.
So that'll help.
So that'll put us close to 5,000 or so. It's okay. I'm looking into some grants. Just I've let us underwrite them, and I'm looking into. And then Abby started helping me with the corresponding secretary job and sending out thank you cards and receipts. She's done a great job with that. At first I was delegating it between her and I, so I was splitting it 50-50, but she told me she would like to just do all of them. So I'm gonna start letting. And I think that's it. Oh, the loan, regarding the loan, I have, I'm trying to get into their system, but I just, like, for a nonprofit, it's weird, and I've emailed them and emailed them, and I just can't get through, so I need to keep working on getting that, cause it's due coming up. And then as soon as I get their system, I can set it up to auto pay.
I'm sorry.
That's it.
I had a couple questions. One I can think of, maybe I will the other one. One day, I don't know why, because I haven't in years, but I just checked, I was moving the garbage cans when the garbage people leave them in front of us. I thought, I'll check the mail while I'm there, and there were a couple things, and whatever, the only things that were there, you know, the usual stuff, junk, and the community animal hospital bill was there, so I went ahead and opened it, and they had charged us another late fee or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
What's our bill doing there? How's it doing? How much is paid down? And,
We haven't paid anything.
oh wow,
Yeah, well, we don't have the money for it. Like, we've just had recently gotten above a threshold, above 1,000 comfortably. And that's just because of the GoFundMe.
yeah.
So if we start paying on that, we may not have the money to pay the lights or the phone
Oh, I get it. Yeah, I pay bills too.
Yeah.
Trying to think, because the more we don't pay it, the more it's going to compound. How much is it now?
It's 25, but I don't know if that's accurate, you know. But I could I can send them like $100, $100.
Cause if we pay on it, I don't think there's a late fee.
Right.
I think they can apply a late fee, but it was, I don't know, it was $50 or something like that, the late fee.
I'll send them $100, $200.
Yeah, something. But I don't think they can put that fee on if we pay till it resets it, I think. Or they may do it so that the balance, I was supposed to have lunch with Doug Blackwell. I was gonna bring some of this stuff up. He is getting out and about, but he is in hospice. He can't drive, so I was gonna go get him. But I had to cancel because I was at the vet running late or something. I was gonna try to sandwich it in, and I just told him. So we were supposed to go last week, and I didn't get a chance to go. So hopefully I can get one day that I can meet him for an early lunch and talk to him about this stuff if he's in if he's real frail and stuff. I don't bother him at all with it. But just to see if he's got any advice. But yeah, that came, so that's why I was going to think to ask. So, I can either add this under old business. Yeah, let's do that, because I don't like it when people slip things in. So I'll just add it and we'll make it a different thing. So, any other questions or comments? Pam wants a raise, I know that, but Pam,
2 times your current
wow.
current offer.
All right. I make a motion that we accept the treasurer's report as submitted by Tyler. All those in favor? And anybody opposed? It's unanimous. All right, what's the next thing? The next thing is, oh, we had the corresponding report separate. Oh, that's why, because I said I was gonna separate that out. So just whatever he said about the corresponding, put it under there. I think if anybody ever wanted to make an issue of that, they could say you didn't keep it separate. And I've been trying to read and catch up on some of this stuff that I haven't been keeping up on for a long time, so, and trying to dot our i's and cross our t's or whatever, so. All right, so committee reports, the shelter director report. I don't really have anything. What did I say last time? I don't think I have anything except to defer it this time. Actually, I said the playroom was under there, so that's where I will slide that rather than adding it to the agenda. I told Heather today I meant to add this to the agenda and I forgot. Now that, can we investigate getting the playroom fixed? I know that money's very tight, but I would pay half of whatever it costs. I'll do that, because I really would like to get it done, because I know we're losing air both ways, heat and cold, and it would probably pay for itself. What's our electric run usually, just rough?
It's like 232.
Jesus, I wish mine was that low. Too many aquariums and snakes.
Ours is about 222.
I think the highest this year was in June, obviously.
I've got mine down to 375 and I'm thrilled.
It was at 4 or something like that. Or that. Jenny's house was 600.
Yeah.
I noticed in our kitchen one day, I could feel the air coming through the sockets, outlets.
Yeah,
I thought, I'm going to Lowe's and get some of those little foam things and put them on there.
put them in there, yeah. Exactly. I think they have plugs you can put in there that helps that too, I don't know. Or if
I've got
that's
those
just,
in there, but you can still feel
oh,
it.
still feel it
Yeah.
coming around. I think that's just a safety thing, not for air. But anyway, I'd like to investigate, I'll do it, I mean, but get a couple people to tell us. Jim, said that he would do it for 500, but that's probably not charging us for his labor. But I'll have to Google whatever the name of that product is again, and it may be able to be done with something else. That was really good stuff. But he had already figured out how much he would need and stuff. And we haven't used the guy that put in the post, the bathroom floor and all that guy, that in a long time. I came across his number the other day. I don't know if that's something he would wanna do or not. That's the only one besides Jim that's ever done anything like that for us.
What can you put in there on the walls that they don't tear up?
That's the product he was talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
Yeah, it's whatever semi trucks are made out of. Jim's, I don't know, he said it was the back, Jim Kayla's Jim. The thing that, semi trailers are made out of, I always thought it was just like stainless steel, but it's not. It's three different things. It's
Oh.
a brand, copyrighted, product for strength and durability and all that.
Like
He's-
a plaster or just a wall?
No, it's a piece of solid sheet that can be
Oh.
cut, yeah. Comes in big sheets.
When
I'll
you
have
get
to-
there.
I don't know. I have to Google it. Remind me when we finish. It's the, what semi trucks are made out of is what I'll Google probably, or what their trailers are made out of. But it comes right up. Kayla had sent it to me before, but so much has happened since then. I don't want to start looking for it. But yeah, can we get bids on that? In other words, if it is gonna be 500, he'd said that before, if that is what it is, then, and things have gone up since then too. That was maybe a year ago or 8 months ago. So nothing's gone down, everything's gone up. So if it's 500, I'll pay 250 is what I'm saying, so. If it's 10,000, I ain't paying 5,000, and we can't do that, so. I'm just trying to take the bite out of it for us, but it'll start saving us money right away.
We can go and get some bids and take a look at it. See anything wrong with that.
I'll find out the name of it and then call 2 or 3 places, cause only 1 or 2 will show up, and get them to come in and bid it. While our census is kind of low, 7, be a good time. We can put the dogs over there, like we did the floor. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do that. Alright,
It doesn't work, you just blocks it. Have it nice and lock it up halfway.
I see a hack where people took like a 2x4 to replace that drywall right here. As soon as you go in the gate, maybe that's something we could do personally. It wouldn't have that material on it. That's the only thing.
right.
It would just be closed up.
If the holes weren't there, if we patched the holes, I wonder if they would leave them alone. That's the other thing, is we could try to patch the holes up and just paint over it. We did have some of that paint, and every time I say that, I mean to go look and see if there's any in the basement of it left over. But it wouldn't have to be that color. We could just put a spot of some color there, just since it's whimsical anyway. I don't know. Maybe we'd rather try to just patch them. There's a chemical smell to it. I think, was it Kayla that patched one of them before? Somebody
It was
patched.
Kayla and I. tried
You
to
did
patch
it.
them.
Did it patch?
Yeah, it was some sort of patch that we used that was in the
I
process.
I got that patched up and brought it. Yeah, it wasn't expensive.
For the bigger holes, this is more of like you're putting the sheetrock on it.
The
like
actual
attaching the
stuff.
sheetrock
Yeah.
instead of that mesh screen with some mud over
Yeah.
it.
I think what you do is you put like some wood behind there, and then put like a piece that almost matches that, like cut a pattern and put it on it and then patch the seam around it. I've seen that done, but that's not stuff I can do, I don't know if I have any of that stuff, anything to cut. I don't have a bandsaw or anything like that.
And I can get the 2x4s, you can get them pre-cut to the
Yeah.
exact length you need a base. And then for the drywall, I don't think you exactly need a special cutter for it. They used to just use a knife and then they'd snap
Cut
it
it
in.
with a sharp knife
Yeah, cut it with a sharp knife to get a seam in it and then
Yeah.
snap it.
or a box cutter maybe, something like
Yeah.
that. I've got all the free, it's not cut, but all the free 2x4s we can use if somebody can get them out of my cat house out back. It's just sitting out there, the fence that used to be around them, the wire ring. I keep thinking I'll have a koi pond built, and that'll be the frame, but I'm not gonna do that. There's lots of wood sitting out there. So which way do we wanna go? The thing about patching it ourselves is having somebody that can do it and has the time to do it and all that. We'll still spend some money, but not nearly what the other would cost.
But would it They chew through it, yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing.
chew through, yeah, and they could re-destroy the wall. It seems like it's the bigger dogs that did it, for sure.
I'd probably just go for the bids,
Yeah,
cause we probably
we'll
end up
just do
having
that.
to patch.
And then if we choke on those bids, we can always see what we
Then
do.
maybe they can fix that outlet at the same time.
And it's possible, yeah, it's
Once
possible,
you get 3 dogs,
yeah,
it's one
somebody,
that get electrocuted.
yeah, somebody's gonna chomp down on that, and it's gonna be a hot dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we can get that, disconnected and covered over would probably be the best thing. We're not like gonna be plugging something in there. And it's close to the floor too, so when they pee on those things, it's a hazard.
Something
Sometimes.
raising that.
Yeah, if we needed one, we could always raise it up. Oh, the people that come to do the bids, sometimes people will say, well, I can do like patching on the side, I do that myself or stuff, or at least that's what I've had happen over the years, you know, sometimes you'll find something, you know, just from that person, you know, that they do it on the side, or they know somebody, they got a brother-in-law that'll patch it, you know, and can do it a lot cheaper without using that stuff, so we'll see. We may find somebody that way for the other project if we don't wanna do the expensive. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, awesome. So I'll get on that. Dr. Casey, I already mentioned earlier that, she's gonna come to our shelter meeting, which will be on a Wednesday, at 7 also, just to keep things simple. But we've talked about doing those quarterly. We can always do it less or more if we need to, but just to start out to have a plan. So if we did one this month, I looked at maybe the 18th or the 25th, couldn't count 7 days, and mentioned it to her and a couple other people, Abby and Heather, I think, anyway. And Casey said she could do either one, Abby could do either one. Casey said the 18th might be a little better for her, but she could do either one. So we need to decide which one we want to do so we can notify peoples.
Either one works for me.
Either one works for me.
Either one could work for us too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that could be next Wednesday and then the next.
It's just whether we want to come back in a week or 2 weeks, and then we'll have our February meeting probably 2 weeks after that, if it were in 2 weeks. So it's just whether we want to be back here in a week or 2 weeks, kind of then. Let's
It doesn't
do,
matter to me.
let's do the 25th, so we can just pick a number if it doesn't matter to anybody. And then we don't have to be back for 2 weeks. And that's gonna be, talking about just updates and that kind of thing with the shelter. Yesterday, I was trying to print out some, or find some of the, logs for the daily log, because, Cindy said she couldn't find any, so she used the weekend log. And so sure enough, I couldn't find any, so I came in to print, and then forms kept coming up, and I'm like, oh, I need to change that on that one. So I ended up revising 2 or 3 forms, like put New Hope instead of community, and volunteers, things that have just changed over the last couple of years and we haven't updated. I revised well, I can talk about all of it, but I revised the appointment log just very slightly. You'll see on there, I kind of split a couple of the columns. And since I'm the only one actually writing on it right now, but just, it made it easier for me and I think to read. So just stuff like that. And I did finally print out some of the daily logs, and I made a couple of changes on it too, so anyway. Didn't take anything away, but added something. Anyway, so Dr. Casey will be here the 25th, and she'll talk about the stuff that I told her, but also if we have questions and discussions. So we'll probably give her an hour and maybe an hour for our time, since we're used to staying here 2 or 3 hours for this meeting, you know, will allow us a couple hours. But we haven't had a meeting like a shelter meeting in a couple of months, so. And we may not need that much, but I told her she can go first, and then if she wants to stay, she can, and she will. She'll want to hear what we say. And publicity, I don't have anything at all for that. I don't think we have anything other than all of our normal stuff going on. I guess one thing that could go under that is the ARC YouTube channel is down there under old business, and I finally did make a channel, but I haven't, I've got it hidden. It's, I forget what the word they use is, but anyway, it's not, you can't find it if you look for it, because I don't want people to find it, but, just have to decide what date and all that. We've had a lot of changes the last couple of months, but it was only like 2 weeks ago that I finally, 3 weeks maybe, and it was like, duh, this is how to do it. So we've got an ARC YouTube channel now. I do have to change the name because I called it something else. So that will be part of our publicity going forward, and we'll figure out if we want to do that daily or 24 hours or how we want to do that. But we'll have to have, if we don't want to just each log in and use our phone or whatever, and we'll have to have a camera here. And I don't think some of the cameras are that expensive, are they? Like GoPro and stuff. Some of them are not that bad.
No, I don't think so.
Under $100 probably. And we have the Wi-Fi, so,
Yep.
yeah. And we'll just piggyback off our Wi-Fi, so it'll just be free streaming, whatever we want to do. I really always wanted to have a nighttime stream to see what those cats are doing.
Yeah.
Because you know they're partying in there. We know they are. So, all right. Long range planning. We already talked about the playroom repairs. Well, so it's funny how some of that stuff overlaps, but when it's done, it's done. The ARC YouTube channel under old business, we just talked about. And I was going to squeeze in playroom repairs there, but we did that twice already. New business. Since we're the board, I wanted to, and like I said, I wanted to kind of get everything, dot our I's and cross our T's, and see where we can do better as a board and make sure we're compliant with the things we need to do and all that kind of stuff. So, and to give us some content, something to work on, and some goals and stuff. So, review the board member, and then I've just put the role summary. And this is stuff we already talked about and went through and had discussion about. So, but I think everybody's comfortable with their role, what they do, and what's expected of them, I think. Does anybody have any questions about that, or? One of the things I was thinking about, Heather, is a lot of boards consider their secretary as like their second officer, because the secretary has a lot of authority to enforce Robert's rules and bylaws, that kind of stuff, and goes by those and uses them as much or more than the president or any other board member. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that and you were comfortable with that. And we've had secretaries over the years that would every word of Robert's rules, and then we've had some that are, they don't care, they just do what they need to do and all that. It's not they don't care, it's not their thing. So but you do have a lot of well, you have a lot of authority. I know. I knew she was going to go off, and you won't be able to get her in the truck now. I know you won't get her through the door. You have to solve the door.
Start crowning yourself.
We'll buy her a tiara.
But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you are aware of that. And I can't think of a situation where. I know we had right after I joined the ARC, one of the secretaries had to really be, to make it to be, not take a side, it's not what I'm saying, but to appear to be above board and everything. we had to call on one of the secretaries to tell us how we needed to proceed with whatever that issue was. Because, of course, all four of us felt differently about whatever it was, so that the secretary, researched and said, this is the way we're gonna handle this, or vote, or whatever, so the secretary does have a lot of deciding protocol, and stuff, so. Madam Secretary. But that was one thing I wanted to make sure, so. And Virginia, this vice president, the more I've looked at it and researched, and I know that's one of the things that Virginia really enjoys and does is fundraising and focusing on fundraising and that kind of thing. And I was signed up for a class to go to that talked about to turn your board members into fundraising machines or something like that, and the reviews were good on it. And I get stuff like that all the time. Would you all ever want me to forward any of that stuff to you?
Sure.
We don't have to do it as a group, but we could, but something happened that I didn't get to do that. But I still get those things. On Facebook's where I get some of it. There are a couple of them that look good. I'll send those on and see, but they're online classes, like whatever live streams or Zooms or whatever. Webinars. Thank you. So, and some of them look really good, but so I'll send them on. But there's a lot about the fundraising. That one in particular I was going to go to. It said turn your board members into fundraising machines or something. I thought, yeah, I need to go to that. But we probably all would enjoy it. They're like an hour long. It's people from all over that are on not-for-profit boards. That one is. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Awesome.
Be interested.
Awesome. And I think not even for just this, what we're doing, that it would be good information to have, or for a job or something, so. Attendance. The only thing I was gonna touch on that, was, when we went over our bylaws, it said that we're allowed one absence. Two? Is it one or two? I
It's
can't remember.
because 75%, you have to attend 3 out of 4 meetings.
Now, this is in our bylaws, or,
Pretty sure, because it's 3 out of 4 or 9 out of 11.
I don't have the bylaws with me.
I do.
Anyway, and when I researched, like, there's no provision in ours, like, so what do you do if somebody comes once a year? I mean, I've never had that, but, and the best sources I could find, and it's Robert's Rules, for nonprofits, was that if you miss 3, that, you're asked to step down. So that would be what you're saying, I guess. Well, no, that's more. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there to be aware of. We can have it in our minutes, that it's one of the things we talked about.
Yeah, board members must attend 75% of meetings, 9 meetings per year, or 9 out of 11, since we only have 11 meetings.
Right,
So you missed 2.
right. I thought that sounded awful steep, one meeting, I'm like, gosh. So, and the other thing is just like, and we've all done this, what Virginia's doing right now, the phone, we don't have any provision for that. I mean, we've never discussed it, people never did it before, and I'm the one that, I think the very first time I remember it was when, and no one here was probably here then, I had to go when I was still working, like 6 or 7 or 8 years ago, maybe. It was probably 8 years ago. I was 59, I'm 67 now. So I had to go to San Antonio. My job made me go for a week-long conference. Well, of course, it was the week of our transplant conference, a big national thing. But whoever the secretary was, or the treasurer, vice president, I went through every officer, the vice president, did not want to run the meeting, And so I said, I can do it, but I'll have to call in, and I think that's what set that precedence. I can't remember us ever doing it before then. So we probably need to talk about that, briefly, but, if we change anything in our bylaws, we have to notify the state. It has to be sent to the state and approved. So keep that in mind while we're discussing, thoughts.
I kind of feel like calling is the same as attending, because it's not like you're missing out on anything by not being in person. And working from home, it's a very similar situation in a work environment. I don't get anything more from going to the office versus going here. The only difference is I have a whiteboard to write on there. But when you call in, you're still hearing everyone, your opinions are voiced, like, so I think it's fine from my point of view.
Oh, I agree, because the last, whatever, 5 or 6 years that I did work, I kept saying I'm quitting if you don't let me go home, and they finally did, but I had to do 4 10-hour days, which were 12 for salary. But, yeah, but then they started making us come in once a quarter for like different meetings, and we're like, that's not telecommuting. So we would hate it when we would have to drive to Chattanooga, like people were in Dayton and Pleasant. But it was the same thing, and there was no distraction. The kind of meetings that I would attend would be with 400 other case managers, So there was no distraction or laughing or anything. So to me, I enjoyed doing it from home. And I didn't feel like my work suffered for it, and I paid attention, and as far as us doing it, I've never, that I'm aware of, it's not affected anybody's ability to hear or understand. I think people speak up, when they don't. So I don't see any issue with it.
And is that something we need to change in the bylaws? Because I prefer not to.
See, those bylaws were written 22, 23 years ago.
Because it just says attend 9 meetings. So if we classify, if the board just classifies as attending being by phone, I don't see any reason to change it.
Neither. It's just how much stuff's changed in 25 years. You would have never dreamed about doing a webinar kind of meeting, starting back then you did, but that was the very start of it. You and Virginia were toddlers then. Huh?
I can't wait.
Yeah. He's working himself up. We had a lot of people in and out today, not visitors, but volunteer-wise. And so he's really stimulated.
He said we were talking too much without saying his name.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely want it to be in our minutes that we discussed it, and that attending can be done electronically or in person. Now, obviously, if you're given a presentation, that's different. You might need to be here. It's common sense.
So telecommunication, it's the term used.
Yeah. That might be something good to ask the state about. I can't see anybody ever question, but you never know. People are mean, people are crazy, you never know. It's just something that hadn't ever been looked at because we didn't do. Oh, she's trying to sleep. Bless her. We could put a footnote or what's it called when you, like number 1, 2, or 3, and there's a source at the bottom. What's it called? Is it a footnote? We could note it on where it talks about attendance, we could put whatever that is, and then at the bottom of that page, put attendance. Because if we change it in the writing, we have to send it in for approval. And I'm sure it would be no problem at all, but it's just somebody to do that. It would be an all-powerful secretary that would do it. But
Queen Regent.
the
Say-
Queen Regent,
I prefer that.
what do y'all think? I don't want it to appear like we were trying to get around anything or anything, but who wants to? It would have to be a letterhead letter and all that.
Is this not sufficient, saying like Tyler, board members present, it says Tyler by phone?
Oh, another thing I thought of, that's what I was trying to remember, Madam Secretary, is where you put board members present, put board members absent. And if there aren't, just leave it none, please. I'm sorry. I noticed that in my ramblings and musings. I can't believe I remembered it. But we never have anybody absent, but at least it's there in case we do. I think that's fine. What do you all think? Virginia, what do you think? Where it says Tyler by phone? It show,
Tyler by phone.
yeah, it shows that you're present, that you attended.
Well, I mean, like, you could still say that, right? But, I mean, as long as you know, that's okay.
Yeah, I think that covers it. And I think if we put anything on the actual bylaw, then we're gonna have to tell the state. But I think as long as we have it in minutes, that it was discussed, and agreed upon that by phone was fine, that's all we need to do.
Yeah, because that would be the board still adhering to the bylaws and accepting.
Exactly. Yep, I agree. That was a long way to get around to seeing that, but, all right. So is there anything else under that? Oh, meeting frequency. We have never said in our bylaws that we have 11 meetings per year, have we?
No, it just says 75%, and then in parentheses, it says 9 meetings.
But it says we have monthly meetings. And it means board meetings.
But either way, if we had 12 or 11, it would be 9 meetings, just because it's always 75%.
But if we don't have one in December, they're not monthly meetings.
We see the language.
Yeah, look at the language.
I think it mentions that, but we don't do it in December.
I hope it does. Play-Doh. I keep wanting to take the tree down and think
We
of
took
it.
ours down yet.
I haven't put one up for 15 years, so I don't have to worry about it. Too many
Yeah,
cats.
so we'll take down.
The year I had 17 cats, and only 4 or 5 were mine. The rest were Art's running around. And well, I was a lot younger then. But that's the last year I had one. They tore that tree up. They had a good time though. It was the last artificial tree I had. They gutted that tree.
Ours uses it for a scratching post.
It says the ARC will hold a regular board of directors meeting each month with reports from the officers and chairs.
And when we're talking about these committees on here, the reason that I'm going through them is they don't really have chairs assigned to them. That might be something we want to look at. Sometimes it's just one of us taking one and saying the same thing over and over. Some boards of directors include their chair members in votes. We've never done that, but some of them do.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything regarding the,
I couldn't find anything, but that doesn't mean anything. So our choices are to leave it alone, make it legal and send it in. It would just be what we have now, except the month of December. Or what would be the third choice? That would be it. And that's the last thing we've got on the agenda, I think, unless there's any other thing.
Yeah, I got one more thing to add. It's actually tack on to that. When we were
Awesome.
talking last month about, you wanted me to look at if we were on track for the election stuff.
Yeah, I remember that now, I saw it in the minutes.
It looks like in June of 2018, the president and treasurer, vice president and secretary, it was all on the same, it landed on the same month that year, or it's the same year. So June 2020, since it was 2 years after that, VP and secretary was elected. And then, last June, we were elected. Then for president and treasurer, we were supposed to have it done in 2021, but we missed it. So last June, we did the retroactive back to 2021, we did that last year. So according to the minutes, it said the next election for that would be 2023. But if we retroactive that to 2021, then it would be 2024 when that comes up again for
That's
both of
what I was
these.
thinking, yeah.
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 So we got another year.
Don't have to pull out the campaign flags.
A year and a half almost.
Don't go buy those hats yet.
I'm gonna switch parties maybe this year or become independent. I don't know. All right. So will you, make that, cause I think that is really the secretary, make that part of one of your superpowers, that you know when we are kicked out or when we have to be voted on and stuff. All right.
Do you add number 5 or number 4 to this thing?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Is that the mail? My mail comes this late sometimes.
It was the church building.
Ours came at 10 o'clock one night. I said, what are you doing that late?
During Christmas season,
Yeah.
so
You get somebody to show up, so I had to put it up.
I've got the Dotsons posted finally today. Well, I wasn't way behind on it, we're just watching, and I've been asking people how they're doing, and I took Heather's suggestion and posted them together.
They have to go together, right?
So far, we're doing that. Now, a lady, when we were walking them last walk, a lady and man, are we finished then? Is that everything?
Meeting adjourned.
Well,
That's what- yeah.
I was gonna ask, I think of it till now, with Dr. Casey's thing, if we're gonna talk about the vaccine reaction, should I bring Gimli's, that paper of when he had his,
I
for her to
would,
look at?
yeah, or send it to me and I'll send it to her so she
Okay.
has it ahead, if you don't mind sharing it.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, and then we can make copies so if we want them, but that way she'll have it. She won't have to sit and read it or look at it or whatever. I told her something else. What was the other thing? I can't remember what I told her. It's in my, okay. All right, we're adjourned and we got in under. It was actually 48 minutes and 45 seconds.
any change in
I do call my character the pirate.
My moderators are modding the people listening to this. All right, guys, so now you've seen how much fun the ARC Shelter Board meetings are, and they're public, they're open to the public, so thanks for attending. Thanks for bringing us along, sir. Thank you all for being here. The channel owner has ultimate power. They can time out mods. That's true. Uh-oh, is that Sammy acting up? See, the one time I'm not watching. Oh, he timed you out. Yeah, he was joking though, he was saying, so. All right, I'll come back and, y'all want me to let this run or what? We're gonna talk about non-board stuff now, so. George got upset that I was picking grasshopper all the time. And you're grasshopper and Malway. That's funny, he didn't know. That's our mantle at the Ark. All right. All right, all right. Thanks for attending and listening, guys. Where are you a mod at, Jeff?
Almost 8 on the dot. Is that almost 8 on the dot?
Wait a minute, these guys were voting in here. I vote all secretaries from this day forth are referred to as Queen Regent.
There you go.
That's Jeff Kane, unless if he's not a follower of yours or you're not of his.
He is now.
Saints Dust Aquariums. Yes, please put up, there's the GoFundMe for the Ark. See, I told you these guys are awesome. All right. Hey, Mike. See you later. Thank you for coming. She wants to stop streaming.